You're gonna have to wait till they grow, and it's not always gonna look the best. It's gonna be frizzy, it's gonna be out of control. You're gonna be like, some days, what am I doing? Why did I decide to lock my hair? Hey y'all, welcome back to DDL TV. I'm here for a very quick video today about locks and 10 quick tips that I think will be useful for people who are thinking about starting locks, or 10 quick thoughts that might help you on your pre-lock journey. So I have a piece of paper. That's what I'm looking down at. If you see me looking down, that's why. So the first tip that I have, number 1. This is your journey, and advice from people about locks is always like good when you're on your journey or about to start your journey, but just realize that like opinions are just that. Your hair is going to be different from everybody else's hair, so just, you know, take the advice for what it's worth, but don't always feel like you have to apply it to your locks or your process, because in the beginning I felt a lot of pressure to listen to other people about how my hair should be, what it should look like, what stage it's in, and all these other things. And it's just like, your hair is your hair, and it's going to be unique to you and your head. So that's my first tip. The second thing is to note that this is a rewarding process, but it's also a process that requires a lot of patience and a lot of confidence, I would say, because usually when people are starting off locks, they're very short, or they can be, and even if they're not very short, when they start them off, they do shrink up, because I started with longer hair, but my hair did shrink and was probably like up here, really, like how it's hanging. At least this much hair wasn't there. All that was not there, so you could see behind me looking from the front. This was gone. You would be able to see the couch and the wall from when I first started. So just know that when you start your locks, you're gonna have to wait till they grow, and it's not always gonna look the best. It's gonna be frizzy, it's gonna be out of control. You're gonna be like, some days, what am I doing? Why did I decide to lock my hair? My hair looks a mess. You're gonna be like, bobby pins and clips are gonna be like your best friend, because you're gonna be trying to like pin them down and get them to stay down. And I used to use like a little cap thing. I think they're called wig caps, honestly, but I never wore a wig. But anyway, they're the ones that like stick to your head like a stocking cap, basically. And with that, I used to put it on my locks, and I would like lay my locks how I wanted them to lay down. So if I wanted a middle part, I would lay them like they're currently laying, and then I would put it over top, and I would just keep it there for like hours, overnight, whatever. So then when I took it off, my hair would be laying down and not like sticking up everywhere, like one lock over here and one lock over here, and just doing its own thing. But just know that it is still going to do its own thing, and it doesn't always work when you want it to, and it doesn't always look how you thought it would look. So that's tip number 2. Confidence, rewarding process, patience. Tip number 3 is that even though locks are low maintenance, just know that you still have to take care of your hair with locks. A lot of people have this misperception that, okay, I'm gonna get locks and I'm never gonna do anything else to my hair. I'm gonna just let it go and I'm gonna be free and blah blah blah, and you know, it's not gonna be as much stress as my loose natural hair and everything else. And that is true to a certain extent. It's not as much work that you have to do like every week or every 2 weeks to your hair as loose natural hair is, but it's still work. You still have to take care of it. You have to take care of your scalp. You have to make sure it's clean so that your hair can grow. You have to moisturize your hair and your scalp, and you just have to know your hair in a form of a lock, because I knew my loose natural hair to be one way, and it's not the same with my locks. I mean, it could vary per person, but it's not the same for me. And then number 4, loose natural hair products that you used when you were a loose natural might not work in the same way on your hair with locks, because locks don't need a lot of buildup, for example. So maybe you used a certain leave-in conditioner, or I don't know, certain oils and thicker oils or thinner oils, but like with locks, the less products the better. At least for my hair, the less products the better, because buildup does happen, and then, you know, you do go longer usually when you have locks between washes. So it's not, especially when you first starting your locks, so it's not always good to put a lot of product in your hair, because then it's going to be dirty, and then it's going to be layers of product on your scalp, which means your hair cannot grow because it's dirty and dry and caked up and disgusting. So less products, the better. Tip number 5 is that you may be viewed differently once you get locks, in good and bad ways. So people are always going to judge people regardless, so I won't focus on the bad ways, but people will come up to you and they'll be like, ooh, can I touch your hair? Can I touch your locks? The answer is no for me. It's a strong no for me, dog. But some people will be like, oh sure, here you go. Not me. So people may look at you differently. They're intrigued by your hair. They want to know how long you've been locked. When you see other locked people in public, they might speak to you. They might, you know, look at you, kind of make eye contact, like we in this little secret club that we didn't know we signed up for, which is cool. But also people may look at you in a negative light and be like, oh, why did you do that to your hair? You know, your hair was nice before. That's what I got, a lot of that. Or, you know, how are you gonna make your locks look professional? Now that to me is a bias and a discriminatory question, in the sense of like, they just can't look professional. Like right now they can't just be like this and look tamed and, you know, laid down or like whatever. They have to be manicured or something. But I haven't got my hair done in over a month and my hair looks fine. So just know that people will have their commentary, but as long as you're happy with your hair, that's what you should focus on. So that was tip number 5. Tip number 6 is, when you're thinking about starting your locks, you should find a loctician or a natural hairstylist, because a lot of locticians call themselves natural hairstylists as well. Sometimes they're used interchangeably, sometimes they're not, but you should find a good one that you can stick with throughout your lock journey, so that you don't have a bunch of people's hands in your hair. One loctician might start your hair one way, another might start another way. As you continue to get retwists, they might twist them in one direction, and then if you go to another person and they don't know, they just comb your new growth and twist it in the other direction, then it's like not consistent with your hair. So I recommend finding a loctician and sticking with them. I do have one main loctician and then a backup loctician, just in case, you know, they're booked or they can't do it. But other than that, I don't have like a bunch of people in my hair, so that's a good one. And then before you start your locks, I recommend researching parting systems as well as the size of the lock that you desire, but also in that being flexible once you go to a lock appointment consultation, because you might find out that, okay, your hair type is better served with a different parting system or a different size lock than you anticipated. I did that. I looked up different parting systems and lock sizes, and I wanted my locks to be thicker. When the lady started my first set of locks, she kind of told me, I don't know if your hair is gonna, you know, thicken up to that, because it seems like you guys have 2 different hair types, but I'll part it the way you want. Turns out I didn't end up liking it, and that's why this is my second set of locks, where I started smaller than I did the first time as far as parts. So make sure you research and you do everything that you can, but also be flexible once the loctician actually calls you in for a consultation and looks at your hair and sees like where your hair is and what you can really do. I also recommend locticians who have locks. I mean, that's not one of my 10 tips, but I just feel better when I go to locticians who have locks, because I just feel like they get it and they know what they're doing, because they have them and they've been through a process and they, you know, they get it. But at the same time, loose natural hairstylists or natural hairstylists also have a lot of good tips about products and everything else for the overall health of your hair, but so do locticians. So I prefer my locticians to have had locks, even if they don't have them anymore, or to have been doing locks for like years and years and years and years, because I just feel like it's better that way. But yeah, to each his own. And then my 8th tip is that YouTube lock groups on Facebook, Instagram, and the overall lock community will be really helpful for you as you go on your lock journey or start your lock journey. Because say you have a question about, I don't know, a parting system, a product, something you notice with your hair, it was really helpful for me when I started my locks, being in these different lock groups and looking up YouTube videos about locks, because I had all these questions because I had never had locks. No one close to me really had locks in my family. I had friends with locks, plenty of them, but I just used YouTube, social media for tips about locks or questions I had when my locks were going through different phases. Like when they started budding, it was like weird, and I was like, yo, what's going on? And some of my locks are still weird, so I could show you, for example, a lock. I would have, in the beginning of my lock journey, I would have looked at these locks right here at the end, and I would have been like putting them in a group, like, do you know what's happening and why it's like flipping that way and why it looks like that? And I would have been spazzing out about it. But it's really just helpful to be in those groups and talk to people who've had locks for years or who do locks, and they can answer your questions. So that's my 8th tip. And then my 9th tip or thought is that locks are really versatile. I know a lot of people, including myself before I started my locks, have the misperception that locks are just, you know, one style and you can't style your hair. I know a lot of people say, I want to start locks, but I don't want to do it because I change my hair a lot, or, you know, like I like different hairstyles. But like, first off, your locks, oh my god, there's something in my eye. Oh my god, it's probably an eyelash. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, it's not out. Oh my gosh, 10 hours later. Am I okay now? Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, woo. So locks are versatile in that you can style them in all types of ways you could possibly never think of, but also you can still put weave over your locks if you so desire. Some people don't recommend it. They say it'll damage your locks. When I first started my locks, I think like the 6th month, March, August, September, yeah, probably like the 6th month when I was on my lock journey. In the beginning, I put Senegalese or Marley twists over my locks, or I got them put over my locks. My hair was fine. I just didn't want to get a retwist for a while. I just wanted my hair to kind of do its thing, but I also wanted it, I also just wanted a different look. So I was like, oh, let me get like twist over my locks to see how I like it. I really loved it. I think I kept them in my hair for like 2 months, or at least a month and a half, and it was cool. And you would have never known I had locks under there. The girl who did my hair did really well. Her Instagram name is MJ Hair Care, I think, or MJ Hair. But anyway, she's in LA and she did my hair. She had done braids before for me, but when I was a loose natural. So I recommend locks because they are versatile, and I don't recommend you not starting your journey because you're fearful of not being able to change your hairstyle. Because even outside of just that, people put wigs over their locks. People do a lot of different things, and then people color their locks. People cut their locks in bobs, or they cut them, you know, to a certain length, or they get all these different styles. I've had some really dope lock styles since I started my journey, and even though a lot of people don't like putting styles on starter locks, all my locks, I mean, all the different times I got my hair done since I got them started, I had styles from day one, and it helped my locks stay in place because I have really soft hair. So I think if it wasn't for that, it would have been a lot more complicated. There would have been a lot of untwisting of my hair, but I didn't have to worry about that because I put it in styles, or I got the lock cushion and put it in a style for me. So locks are versatile. My last thought or tip is that know that when you're starting your locks, they do not have to be permanent. People are fearful of starting locks because they're like, oh my god, like that's a permanent hairstyle. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to cut my hair off later when I don't want them anymore. If you just Google or YouTube, I combed out my locks, or combing out locks, you'll see that people comb out their locks all the time. Yes, you'll probably lose length on your hair because locks are a bunch of shedded hair all together compacted, so of course you're gonna lose some length. Probably you're gonna have to get your hair cut, but you start at the bottom, you get some conditioner and you get a pick comb and you just start combing it out. And I'm sure it's you know, I know it's time consuming because I've watched videos of people combing out their locks, and I'm sure it takes a lot, but just know that it's not as permanent as people try to make it seem, like you have to cut off your hair if you start locks. So those are 10 quick tips or thoughts around starting locks, or things that I would have wanted to know beforehand when I was about to start my locks. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.